moving on, getting ready for the next one.
Coach Stevens, could you talk about tonight's game?
Well, tonight was a lackluster performance by the Tigers. I feel like this week we've been a little bit lethargic in practice, and we didn't do a good job of preparation for the week. We talked to the kids about it, and we actually kind of compared it to a situation we had about 3 years ago down in with the APS school Washington, where we had to survive to win the game. But for some odd reason, we just didn't come out and practice well this week. We didn't perform well early in the weight room today, and it kind of showed on the field tonight. We didn't do a good job. So as a coaching staff, we've got to go back and somehow get their attention that each and every week we've got to go out and we've got to prepare, because in this region there's teams that they're going to play hard, and they got an opportunity to beat you week in and week out if you don't come prepared to play.
All right, speaking on teams in this region, every game that you play in this region, it's going to be like everyone's top game. So how do you prepare for that, have your team to prepare for that?
Well, it's one of those things, you got to preach it to them, but they got to understand it. Sooner or later, they've got to understand what's at stake week in and week out. Because right now, we're sitting there tied with the lead in the region. And we beat two of the better teams in the region. And tonight I thought we came in and found a way to beat a good Carver team. So it's one of those things whereas week in and week out, guys are going to be trying to knock us off, because it's going to give them an opportunity to make a notch on their belt, or to give them a chance to get in the playoffs by beating us. So like I said, our kids, our coaches, we got to drive it home to these kids, and then the kids, they got to understand what's at stake. Every day they got to come to practice and practice hard and practice as though, hey, we're going to get somebody's best shot this week.
All right, now do you feel there's any pressure having 3 All-Americans on your team?
Well,
anything to prove or anything like that?
We got 3 All-Americans, but we got 3 kids who are pretty good. They're committed to Division I schools, and it's not a thing of feeling pressure. It's a thing about expectations. We do expect to be good on defense, but if we did not have those 3 kids, in the past we haven't had 3 kids like that, and we were pretty good on defense. And the expectations at Tucker's always going to be high to have a good defensive unit when we put them out there. So those 3 kids, they're very good players for us. But in the past, the last 3 years I've been here, we've had some kids who are similar to those kids, and it's just one of those things of expectations. We expect to have a good defense regardless of who we put out there.
All right, could you talk about playing in 6 Quad A?
I kind of alluded to it, talked about it a little bit earlier. 6 Quad A is one of those tough regions. I mean, ever since I've been here, this is my 4th year, it's a grueling region. And because of the players that you come across on Friday night, you've got to play. And you come in and you're not ready to play, and somebody slips or something happens, just like tonight we fumbled one for a touchdown. Next thing you know, you're in a game, and it's a miserable experience. You're fighting for your life, trying to figure out how to win a game. So it's a very tough region. I'm not going to sit here and claim that we're the toughest region in the state. I'm just going to say that it's a tough region to play football in week and week out.
Okay, you said earlier you played 2 of the toughest teams on your schedule. Who are the other tough teams on your schedule?
Well, I think there's some. I think next week we're going to get Chamblee, and the defensive coordinator was here last year, so I'm pretty sure we're going to have to deal with a similar offense, similar defense to what we dealt with tonight. So that's going to be a tough game. Then we've got to play Doug the week after that. After an open week, we draw Mays. And last time we played Mays, it was a heck of a football game. It's a game we barely won. We found a way at the end of the game to win that game. So that's another scary game. Then you turn around and get Miller Grove, who over the last 2 years, they've given us fits. I mean, it's been a fit. Lithonia over the last 2 years, we've had to fight for our lives to beat those guys. Then Redan, I have no idea about Redan because of the fact they're new to the region. I just know they're coming from 5A. Then we end with Lakeside. And, all records go out the window when you're dealing with Lakeside, because that's a neighborhood war for us. So it's one of those things whereas, like I keep talking about, we've got to get our kids to understand the preparation you've got to have week in and week out. And it's not even week in and week out, it's day to day to get ready for what you're going to face on Friday nights.
All right, thank you very much, Coach Steve.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for having us.
All right.